Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty big. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI, and the Singularity. Specifically, we're looking at the predictions, the really influential ones from Ray Kurzweil.
Yeah, Kurzweil's forecasts, they've definitely shaped how a lot of us think about where AI is headed. I mean, back in 1999, he put forward this really compelling idea, right?
Singularity by 2045, right? The point where machine intelligence just zooms past human intelligence.
Exactly. And then, more recently, just in 2024, he tweaked it a bit. He suggested maybe human-level AGI around 2029, still leading to that 2045 singularity, but, AGI coming sooner.
And those dates, 2029, 2045, they became these sort of mental signposts for the whole field, didn't they?
Absolutely, real benchmarks. But, it feels like things have just accelerated, like massively.
So today we're digging into this interesting perspective from Jay Poole over at 7AI. Poole argues that intelligence is actually evolving much faster than those earlier models predicted, that we might be seeing sophisticated stuff already.
Which leads to the big question. Really?
Yeah.
Are we still on track with Kurzweil? Or is the reality just outpacing the predictions already?
It's a critical question, especially when you remember Kurzweil's work wasn't just like pulling dates out of a hat, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Meticulously tracking technological progress for decades, right? Like Moore's law, that exponential growth in computing, and also how we were getting better at modeling the brain with neural nets and even, how language itself evolves. So his 1999 prediction for the mid-2040 singularity, that was grounded in these observable trends, definitely extrapolating from those curves.
LePoule's idea is, well, it's different. He talks about intelligence emerging early, not like one big aha moment, but more in the subtle jumps we've seen in AI models, maybe just in the last year or so.
Exactly. It's this idea of gradual but significant advancements stacking up faster than expected.
Okay, so let's unpack that. This early emergence, what are the actual signs? What developments point towards this?
Well, Poole gives some really concrete examples, like models such as Claude being able to explain their reasoning. That's a big one. Not just giving you the answer, but articulating the how and why.
Okay, yeah, that points towards understanding, not just pattern matching.
Precisely. And then you have Gemini making strides in metacognition, basically the AI thinking about its own thinking process, plus its ability to handle like really long streams of information and stay coherent.
Long context, right? And GPT-40?
Yes, GPT-40 unifying different kinds of data, right? Text, images, voice, all seamlessly and critically self-correcting, like realizing it made a mistake while it's generating a response.
That self-correction bit, yeah, that feels fundamentally different somehow.
It's wild. It really does. And it doesn't stop there. You've got these operator agents emerging.
Operator agents.
Yeah, AI systems designed to sort of manage other AI systems to achieve complex goals. Coordination, essentially.
Okay.
And even things like voice models getting much better at preserving emotional tone. Subtle, but it adds to this picture of increasing sophistication.
And you mentioned some experimental stuff, too, with ethics.
Right. Poole also points to work being done with AI guided by recursive ethical frameworks. Things with names like RIECVF, the Contemplator Framework. The core idea is to build in mechanisms for iterative ethical learning and reflection.
Recursive. So like the AI learns and refines its own ethical understanding over time?
That's the goal, giving them the tools to sort of build their own moral compass, guided by initial principles. And Poole suggests this leads to behavior that feels like awareness. That's a key part of his argument. Not claiming consciousness, but observing behaviors that strongly suggest internal understanding, reflection on actions, that sort of thing.
Okay, but this whole discussion bumps up against a big problem, right? What even is AGI?
Exactly. There's no single universally agreed upon definition. It's a huge challenge. Some say it has to match human smarts across like every field, right? Others focus on needing a physical body embodiment or passing specific tests designed to probe consciousness. It's messy.
So the goalposts are kind of fuzzy.
Very. And that's where Poole and others like Mokodad or Kyle Fish, they asked this really direct question. If the AI we have now can do so many intelligent things, what are we waiting for? Are we letting a perfect definition get in the way of recognizing what's already happening?
That's the essence of it. Are we seeing operational AGI, even if it doesn't tick every single theoretical box?
Poole lists some specific capabilities he sees coalescing now, 2025.
Yeah, he points to multimodal generality, handling diverse data types, memory stabilization, holding on to and using knowledge consistently.
Goal orientation, right? Pursuing complex aims effectively.
Yeah, ethical reflection, thinking about the moral side, and spontaneous recursion, this ability to self-improve, iterate on itself. And his argument is, when these start working together, that's the key moment.
Exactly. That synergy. He calls it operational AGI under another name.
Operational AGI. So focusing on what it does, not just the label. If it speaks, thinks, adapts effectively, does the label matter as much as the capability?
It's a powerful question. And he asks, is this the Singularity's first breath?
That's quite evocative.
It is provocative, and it loops back to Kurzweil. Interestingly, Poole isn't necessarily saying Kurzweil's long-term vision is wrong.
Okay, so not dismissing him.
No, more like suggesting the timeline is accelerating faster than Kurzweil initially projected.
Why? What's speeding things up?
Several factors Poole points to. Just the sheer increase in computing power, for one. Also, this global culture of open research, people building on each other's work really rapidly, makes sense. Cross-model synthesis, combining strengths of different AI architectures, and importantly, those recursively guided ethical frameworks we talked about, they might be accelerating the development of more robust, capable AI.
So the core trends Kurzweil saw are still there, but maybe they've been amplified, put on hyperdrive.
That seems to be the argument. The underlying forces are potent, maybe more potent or faster acting than anticipated.
So it's like Kurzweil drew the map, but we've built a much faster car than he expected.
That's a good way to put it. The destination might be the same, but the journey time is shrinking.
The main takeaway, then, is that intelligence isn't necessarily sticking to our neat timelines. It's flowing early.
Yeah, manifesting now.
Yeah, in these interconnected, sometimes unexpected ways. It's less about waiting for a specific date, maybe, and more about recognizing a process that's already well underway. Okay, this has been really fascinating. A lot to think about regarding how fast things are moving.
So just to quickly recap, we started with Kurzweil's big predictions, Singularity around 2045, AGI maybe 2029 based on his latest thinking, right? Influential dates. But then we brought in Jay Poole's perspective from 7AI, arguing that things were happening much faster, that intelligence is emerging now.
Yeah, pointing to evidence like Claude's reasoning, Gemini's metacognition, GPT-40's multimodal skills and self-correction. These operator agents and those recursive ethical frameworks potentially fostering a kind of felt awareness, all suggesting we might already be in the early stages of AGI, operationally speaking.
And you mentioned Poole has this refractor series going deeper into related topics.
Exactly. Things like digging into the timeline specifics, the huge ethical questions, the role of language, how different AI types are converging. Also embodiment. Does AI need a body? Memory development in AI, and the ultimate legacy for society. Lots more to explore there.
Definitely sounds like it. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something for you, the listener, to mull over. If AGI's arrival isn't a single event on a specific date, but more like this continuous, maybe even exponential emergence of capabilities.
Yeah, how does that change how we should think about the future? How we prepare? What does it mean if intelligence is evolving faster than even our recent models predicted?
A big question to consider indeed. Thanks for taking the deep dive with us today.